generally when you engage with, or I guess specifically with this dental client, are you refreshing this project like monthly or bi-monthly, or is it more like what you just suggested, Kale, that it's like when you add some new element or when you change something, that's when we rerun?
The models themselves are not really equipped to pick up weekly changes, meaning that it should not change because you're trying to estimate one coefficient with 2 years worth of data. If it gives you a different estimate every week, then it's not a useful model, right? It's supposed to be stable. Therefore, there's no point running the model weekly. Almost certainly, a quarterly refresh would be a good hygiene sort of a practice. In some cases, it may actually make sense to run monthly. Okay, but the whole point is to create multipliers so that you can still get daily reporting out of it, but you just don't refresh the models on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But how often do we run it is really now somebody like Kale would say, dude, I don't want to see your face every quarter. Like come back, maybe at the end of the year we'll talk to you again. That's good enough for me. Or he may actually really like Kerry and say, Kerry, actually I like you better. Why don't you show up here every month and let's talk together, figure out what the business is doing. So it really depends on what is the need and how much investment. Time is a big investment, right? I mean, Kale needs to invest his time to like understand this, and he's got other shit to do. So that's a big part of it. And but the standard approach is quarterly refreshes, daily dashboards, and then it becomes like part of the operating practice for marketing. And they do a review, what we call a business review, either quarterly like a QBR, or a couple of times a year if that's what you can afford.
Yeah, it probably really depends too on just how much the brand is spending, right? If you're going to do this extra, like the more you're spending, the more data you have, the more things you're changing. You probably want to do it more often. And another thing that the company I worked for before that influenced, we had our own attribution model that we would run, and we ran it every month. And that's because it fed the finance team's forecasting, and they updated the forecast every month based on prior month's results, but they needed all of the results of our attribution models to feed them. So a business need and this, and then how much is being spent overall by the brand.